Hello, Darren. This is Jade. I'm going to go ahead and critique your site. I am doing this a little bit differently, as Professor Cleveland was talking to us at the WIN meeting, trying a little bit something different, doing a video recording this time and see how that goes. So here we have your website, Easley Design. Okay, so um, interesting. It actually opens up to your contact page. I think that's interesting. Not something I've seen before. All of the items are centralized for your navigation, so it's very easy to find. It's easy to see. Um, I'm guessing you're supposed to click here for email. I think that's great, but doesn't seem to be working. So you may want to double check your links just to make sure that when you have a link that okay, there we go. There it popped up finally. I guess I had to click on it twice. Let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. Disregard that up in the corner. I apologize. Alrighty, so phone number and mailing address. Okay, so you have two different addresses. Is the office address different than the physical address? I think these are reversed. Because you have physical next to a P.O. box, which wouldn't be a physical address. The P.O. box is never physical, so I'm guessing that this is supposed to be here and this is supposed to be here. My suggestion would be here, maybe removing one of these if you only want people to mail you until you have a physical client, and then when you have a physical client, then you can give them your physical address and they can come see you. However, I'm not sure if you want to have both of them. That's really a personal choice, but again, you may want to look. I think that these should be reversed, and I get that this is actually just showing this and this. That's fine. But yeah, I think those are reversed. Great use of fonts. I think this is a great font for you. It definitely fits in with your style. Excellent. So, I'm going to go to the About page here. So, okay, so we have some drop downs. You have an About page. Great. Great picture, by the way. I do like that. Might need to be a little bit brightened up, though. It seems very orangey. Maybe putting a photo filter over it. It looks, maybe it needs like a cyan filter over it because it seems to be a little bit orange cast, a little bit warm toned. Great story. It's good to see, that there's a story background here. I did read over this prior. I love your story. It's fantastic. Congratulations on overcoming, your whatever happened. It's awesome. It's always great to hear inspiring stories. In fact, that's something that I always look for when I'm talking to other people is, what's your story? So excellent, excellent there. Amateur these awards. Now I'm not really sure. Do you have a curriculum vitae, or do you have a resume that you've put online? Um, Awards are wonderful things, but and they're great to tell. I wouldn't necessarily, this is just me. I wouldn't necessarily leave them as a single item unless you're specifically, looking for that. Again, your spelling here though, recognition. You're missing a G. It's RECOGNITIONS. Recognitions. But you may want to take the S off too because it would actually awards and recognition. You may, even if you are recognized more than once, it wouldn't be pluralized with an S. So you may just want to go back and spell check everything on this page to make sure everything is good. Now I see these little stars here too. I'm not really sure what that means. Perhaps tell us a little story, if you want to keep this page up. Perhaps tell us a little bit of story about these specific things. Maybe they make them clickable icons and then tell us a little story, with you and your award about, what happened and how you got there. So we have another drop down, static, media, and guides. Okay, so images, double click. You're running into the same issue that I did have. I do like the way you have a very simple grid. I think that's great, but you're running into the same issue that I have on one of mine in one of my galleries at the moment where your boxes are cutting off some of the images. So I would either see if there was a way that you could shrink the image down slightly to fit within inside the box, or this one is very pixelated here. Let's click on it and see what happens. Oh yeah, you may want to, yeah, that's not recognizable. I don't know if you want to keep this one up. Not really sure. That's really going to be up to you. Otherwise, I think these are great. Now, there, it says down here that this should be page 1 of 3. I'm not sure how to go to the next page. There's no, it says double click to see the full image, but you only actually have to click once. Let me try. Okay, double clicking doesn't really do anything different. Let me try something here. If we go to BG and then we select this arrow, does it go? Ah, okay. So this does go to the next page. Okay, but the issue is we can't get to the next page outside of it. So you're kind of, oh, wait a minute. Okay, there it is. And couldn't see that over top of everything. You might want to, just a suggestion, you may want to pull these outside if possible, because they're very difficult to see. Obviously, I was struggling there for a minute trying to find, how do I go to the next page? So I love the way that it turns, though. That's fantastic. Again, just be very careful about, what you're placing out there. BG, Buffalo Gals. Okay, yes, I know Buffalo Gals here. So these are all wonderful. I love that you're using all these different designs. I think it's great, and you're really showing a lot of variety, but you're really only showing kind of like 3 different campaigns, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like some posters and things. Here you want to be very careful about the WrestleMania stuff. You still have some stuff up. I did read over what was suggested before. You still have a couple things up here from them. So just, be very careful about copyright infringement on things like that. You know, just be very, very, very careful, putting that kind of thing up there. And you are using images of specific individuals. Here you have, I know that these wrestlers and people are specific people. Again, these logos, be very careful because they're highly trademarked, as was mentioned by Sandra in her her critique for you. All right, so interesting images. Now, I see here that you have moved items to the top and the bottom, so it looks like, I guess that's in case somebody scrolls down, then they can easily navigate to your media page. So that's interesting. All right, so you have some of these Buffalo Gals, and then, all right, great, excellent, and it's great that you have them, great up, it's just wonderful. It's so easy to navigate. I think it's really great. Sample guides that created. Please look at these guides in 2-page view in order to see them in there. Okay, again, spelling here proper, P-O-R-P-E-R. Trust me, I'm not the greatest. Well, I'm not really the greatest speller, and I often need to use my spell check. So just proofread a little bit, and trust me, I'm the person that has a problem with it. Mock style guide. This is not a clickable item. Is this supposed to be a title for these items here? Or is it something else? So maybe look at moving this above them or just taking it out altogether because it doesn't really need to be there unless it's for something else. Unless it's like a guide for Easley designs. The only other thing I could honestly say is that in your navigation, so your navigation is not consistent throughout. Here you have these giant drop downs on your, if I just clicked on about, or if I just click on design, that's fine. But the navigation itself is not consistent except on the top throughout. So you do have it on each page though. Oh, here's the resume. Okay. So, okay, so it's a download. Cancel. I don't want to download that. At the moment anyway. So just as a question, you have about and awards here. Why not have your CV or your resume under here as well? Also, your navigation is a little bit hard to read underneath. I would suggest maybe changing the color of about and awards from the black because it's hard to read. Maybe to a lighter tone. Other than that, I think everything looks wonderful. Great job. Just, like I said, just a couple things. You can take them or leave them. I think everything looks professional, well done. Showing the very best. Okay, again, here we got some more typos. Different. So you want to get that Y out of there. Again, distinct. D-I-S-T-I-N-I-C-T. I know that's not right. I didn't spell it right either. I know that this is not correct though. I think it's distinct. D-I-S-T-I-N-C-T. Yes, that's correct. So that I needs to be moved over. Let me just take a look at my background, my resume, and my awards. And again, recognition. Take off the S and don't forget the G in there. Take a look at my company to see if you'll be able to meet your needs. As far as this matching your style, the font definitely matches your style. Not so sure that the background does. Your work has the tendency to be a lot more vibrant. This is very, very laid back. I would probably expect to see a little bit more texture or maybe some crazy stripes or something. And this, it's not bad. It looks great. Don't get me wrong. It just doesn't necessarily seem to fit what I've seen of your work so far. You know, looking like if we go to your static work, you know, this work is very colorful. It's very vibrant. You also have a tendency to use these, you know, very interesting backgrounds and things like that. When we go to like your third page, you know, looking at some of these posters and things, I mean, you know, that background there. And so it's not bad. I'm just commenting on, you know, it seems a little subdued for you, but that might also be just personal preference. And I don't think that any one person has a specific set style that they use all the time. I don't believe that there's such a thing. What? Oh, wait a minute here. Hold on. Okay, something just noticed. So your about link here goes to media. Uh, Probably not what it's supposed to do, right? Double check your links. And your awards goes to guide samples. I would go ahead and double check your links too because they're not working properly. These obviously are going to the wrong places. You don't have any social media icons up here, so I can't really say anything about that. Those go the right place. I just want to double check all these links just to make sure they're working properly. So the only one that I saw from the first, like your about page here, is resume. It goes straight to a download. So just double check your about and awards links here because they're not working. They work on your drop down, but not down here. Honestly, I'm not really sure how I feel about this paragraph. It feels like an afterthought. It doesn't really feel like it belongs. It's not really exciting, and it doesn't kind of, I mean, you're an exciting designer as from everything that I've seen, you know. Look, I mean, even in the use of your font here, you know, this is, you know, a straight font and the regular font, and then you go right into the design, which is kind of italic, and it plays well, it works for you, but this paragraph's really not working. It doesn't even seem very conversational. It just seems very kind of blase blah, kind of an afterthought. You know, maybe trying to, how would you talk to somebody? I mean, I don't know that this is something that you would specifically say right straight out. I think when you're talking about, and I've heard you discuss your own work, you're very articulate, and this seems less articulate than I know you to be. So I would just maybe think, you know, check out maybe rewording this slightly. Because I don't know, it just doesn't feel like something that I would hear you say. Other than that, great job, and look forward to seeing more. Bye.